Hello my dear friends and PMP aspirants. Hi, I am Dr.Swapnil Kale, a PMP trainer for corporates. So today the purpose of making this video is to compare between PMP version 6 examination, the current version of PMP which is based on version 6 of PMBOK, and the new examination of PMP which is going to be based on PMBOK version 7. So first let me tell you and let us bifurcate PMP and PMBOK. So PMP is the examination which is based on PMBOK, that is body of knowledge, released by PMI. So the current version of PMBOK is version 6, but the PMP exam in the last 2020 which we have seen has been also based on version 6, but the pattern of examination was based on the process groups. Currently the PMP exam from 2nd Jan 2021 is going to be based on version 6 of PMBOK, but the pattern of examination will be based on the 3 domains instead of the 5 process groups. So my video will make it very clear. Please watch the entire video right from the beginning till the end, and if you still have any questions, please feel free to write an email to me or drop a question in the question box. Also, please like this video if it is helpful for you. So version 6 of PMBOK, it has 10 knowledge areas, 5 process group. It has an introduction for hybrid project management. It had an introduction for agile project management. The PMBOK version 6 and the PMP exam from 2nd Jan 2021, I call this as a transition exam. So why do I call it as a transition? Because PMI is creating a mindset of all the learners from the traditional waterfall model of PMP version 6 to PMP version 7, which is going to be a complete hybrid new model. So the current version of the examination, which was launched on 2nd Jan 2021, it still has 10 knowledge areas, 5 process groups, but it has more focus on the hybrid. It has more focus on the agile, because that's something what is required in the industry. But at the same time, this new pattern also has changed in terms of domains. So there have been 3 different domains which have been added in the current examination, and all the questions are now going to be evaluated based on these domains. But the major question that people have is my PMBOK version 6 still not valid? So the answer is yes, it is very much valid. There is no change in the PM version 6. Also, these 3 domains are mapped to the processes and concepts of PMI's PMBOK version 6. So these 3 new domains are still mapping to the existing PMBOK version 6. Now let's look at the next version of PMBOK. So the next look of PMBOK is version 7, which is expected in the March 2021. Having said that, the examinations based on PMBOK version 7 are expected at end of 2021 or maybe beginning of 2022. So the examinations are not starting based on version 7 on 2nd Jan, which is a major confusion what students have. Now, the PMBOK version 7 will not have any process groups, so there are no process groups, there are no knowledge areas, but there is more focus on agile. And then what is going to be introduced in this version 7? So PMI is going to introduce the principles which are very important from the PMBOK version 7. There are 12 principles which PMI is launching, and also there are 8 domains which you are going to see in PMBOK version 7. Now, what is the current pattern of the examination? The current pattern of examination is 180 questions, and previously there were 200 questions. So what have they removed from the 200 questions? The 20 survey questions have been removed from the syllabus. Now the time is 230 minutes instead of 240 minutes. So because the survey questions are out, they have reduced 10 minutes of the examination. Breaks, there is one break which is available in a computer based test if you are opting for it, but if you are going for a paper based test, there are no breaks which are allowed. 50% of the questions are now going to be based on the predictive project management. That is nothing but a traditional waterfall management. On the other hand, the rest 50 questions will be based on the hybrid, that is waterfall and agile mix, and agile methodology. Let us see the current exam pattern more in detail. Now this 3 domains which PMI has launched is people domain, process domain and business environment domain. So all the exam questions, what you're going to see in the exam of 180 questions, they're going to be based on these 3 domains. And the percentages, the people domain will have the weightage of 42%, the process domain will have 50%, and the business environment domain is 8%. Now what are these 3 domains? Definitely please attend our trainings. Also please keep on following our videos so that you understand much more in detail about these domains. Previously, the exam questions were based on IPCC, that is initiating, planning, execution, monitoring and control and closing, which were the 5 process groups of PMI. But now the exam is going to be evaluated based on these 3 domains. Now what are these domains? So what is a domain? A domain is nothing but a high level knowledge area. So previously we had 10 knowledge areas, now we have 3 domains. So they have bifurcated this 10 knowledge areas and consolidated them into 3 domains because they are called as high level knowledge areas. Also, there is a new term which you can see in PMI, PMP examinations, and that is called as task. Now what is this task? Tasks are nothing but the responsibilities that a project manager carries on while these 3 domains. And last but not the least, the enablers, which is the work associated with the task. Also, please follow the next video which I am going to make, which I am going to talk about domain, task and enablers. Now, what is the connection between the PMBOK version 6, which is the current version, the new domains and the task? And how are they mapped? Also, there is another confusion. For this new domains have task, have PMI updated any BOK? The answer is no. The PMBOK has not been updated. There is no change. But yes, PMI has given a chart which shows the mapping and connection between the domains, the task, the enablers and the current process and concept of PMB version 6. So let me take you through. The new domains are going to interact with the version 6 processes and concepts. Most of them are going to refer to the existing concepts. So there is no new concept that is going to be launched. No change to the knowledge areas, no change to the processes, no change to ITTOs. Even the logic of the question remains same. So the question pattern has changed, but the logic is still the same. The concept is still the same. Now if you see here, just to show the domain people, which has tasks like manage conflict, which is just an example that I'm going to show you, and that has certain enablers. So this has these 3 enablers. So if you see this first enabler, which is interpret the source and stage of the conflict. Now this enabler, which falls under a task of manage conflict, which falls under a domain of people, it has been mapped to 3.1 for the PMBOK version 6. Similarly, you will see all task, domains and enablers have been mapped to most of the concepts and processes within PMBOK version 6. Now, if you see in my next slide, example is business environment, which is a domain. So this domain has a lot of tasks and enablers. So if you see these enablers which are marked in blue, so these are completely new and they are not being mapped to PMBOK version 6. That is the current version. So for this new topics, this new enablers, I am going to make a new booklet, and this booklet will have the entire conception about what these new enablers are, what are these new tasks, and how PMP examination is based on this new task. Now coming to the next topic, the most important question. The PMP exam pattern has changed. So does it mean that the entire old syllabus and the questions have been scrapped? The answer is no. All the questions are going to be same. The logic for the questions is the same. The concept for the questions is the same. The only thing that is changing is the pattern, the look and feel. So if we talk from the technical perspective, this current examination is very UI based. So the user experience is going to be amazingly awesome. You will feel as if you are in some psychometric test, but it will be a PMP test. So the test has become more interesting. The pattern of the examination has become more interesting. But yes, you might feel it more complex. But don't worry, we are here to help you out for the training and make you understand how this exam pattern is changed and how to crack these questions. So if you see the first type of question, which is called as drag and drop example. So drag and drop is nothing but match the process with the process group. So if you see here, there are these processes given in the blue and the process groups are given in red, and there are these yellow black boxes which have been blank boxes. So what you have to do is in the examination, just drag and drop. So drag this identify stakeholder and put it under a right match. So the right match for the identify stakeholder is nothing but initiating. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag and drop this identify stakeholder into this yellow box. So this is called as the first type of new introduction of the exam, drag and drop. Second, it is called as hotspot. So sounds a little interesting, like a hotspot, not the corona hotspot. So but this is nothing but a PMI hotspot. So the PMP examination hotspot is nothing but charts, graphs, figures, digital graphics. So this is going to be very, very interesting, amazingly beautiful. I really love this kind of exam pattern. So this kind of question is click on the area where the cost will increase the most. Now there I've given you 4 options, A, B, C and D. So wherever you feel that the cost is going to increase the most, click on the hotspot. And this is really very, very beautiful what PMI has done. Type number 3, scenario based examples. Now what has happened is in PMP views version 6 we have seen risk management. In risk management we have seen how we create a risk register, but we have graphically never seen it practically in the examination because exam was theory based. But now the PMP exam has become more practical and scenario based. So now there is a scenario been given here, and based on the current risk register and the scenario, which entry should the project manager edit? So they will give you a scenario. Based on that scenario, what you think is the correction in the particular chart, in the particular risk register, and as a learner, as an exam taker, you have to click and edit that particular entry of the chart. And this is really this is a fantastic option which I've seen in PMP exam. Type 4, more than 4 options. So we have always seen PMP is as good as Kaun Banega Crorepati, where you select one of the 4 options A, B, C, D. Unfortunately, there is no Amitabh Bachchan. But now in the current version of PMP, instead of 4 options, you are going to see more than 4 options. So you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, so there will be multiple options that are available and you have to select one of the best answer. So again, this is one of the new pattern 5. So type 5 is match the following. So this will definitely remind you of your school times where you played match the following in your school with a pen and pencil. Unfortunately, we don't have pen and pencil here, but this is a complete UI exam. You have to match the columns. So if you see here, in this column you have agile measurements. On the right hand side, we have the definitions. So match the definition along with the right word. Type 6, sequencing the steps. So this is again very, very important. This was very much needed right from the beginning, but PMI has realized it. It's never that late. So now this type of questions will tell you what is the first step you should follow, what is the second step you should follow, what is the third step you should follow. So if you see this kind of question, you have to sequence the right options based on the steps. And then definitely the simple questions, direct questions which existed in 2020, the same questions are still going to be there. So more than 50% of the exam questions will remain same as the old exam of PMP, which was there in 2020. Only the new questions with the new patterns which you will see in the exam. Also, the mathematical questions which you have seen in the old version of 2020 are still going to be same in the examination. Now coming to the last topic of my presentation, and that are nothing but the FAQs. So is PMBOK version 7 launched? Answer is no. It will be launched in March 2021, but the exam will be launched at end of 2021 or beginning of 2022. Now, second question, is training based on PMP version 7? This is the most common question what students ask me. But how can this training start without the PMBOK version 7? So the PMBOK version 7 is still yet to launch. The exam pattern has still to be decided for version 7. So the training is going to be based on PMBOK version 6. But as per PMI's instruction, the exam on PMBOK version 7 will be available in 2021 end or 2022. But the current training will be based on PMBOK version 6, 2nd Jan 2021 edition. Which means we are going to explain to you what are the 3 domains, what are the tasks, what are the enablers. Is there a change of exam pattern on 2nd Jan 2021? Is the change based on version 7? Answer is no. This change is based on PMBOK version 6, the new exam pattern. The concepts, logic, knowledge areas, process group will remain intact. Moreover, the 3 domains have been added, tasks have been added, and enablers have been added. But all of this are mapped to the existing PMBOK version 6 process and concepts. The next question, most common question what people ask me, 2nd Jan 2021 exam, is this on a new PMBOK? Again answering it, no, it is based on the old PMBOK version 6. Will there be a change in the exam pattern? Yes. The pattern of the exam question will be more interactive, graphical based rather than text based, which you have already seen. Having said that, the concepts and logic of the questions will remain the same. What is the exam score and evaluation pattern based on? Is it on process groups? So answer is no, it is not based on process groups. The exam is now based on domains. Furthermore, the domains are high level knowledge areas. So now the exam pattern evaluation of proficient, below proficient, above proficient, this is based on the domains and not on the IPCC. And last but not the least, is the current version of PMP easier than the PMP exam based on PMP version 7, which is supposed to start at the end of 2021 or beginning of 2022? So this is a very tricky question for me to answer and you to ask, but yes, the current version of PMP is much more easier as compared to the PMP exam based on version 7. The reason is very simple. One, the exam questions will be based on the new domain and new principles which you are going to see. The sample exam questions and mock tests will be available quite later after the exam has been launched and the exam time is becoming more complex. So make sure you plan for your PMP as soon as possible. Crack your current version of PMP before the version 7. Best of luck for all the PMP aspirations and all PMP aspirants. Make sure if you have any question, please drop an email. So these are my contact details where you can contact me. Thank you so much. Have a great day.